What's going on, guys? Boom1soon here, and today we're back on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now you're probably wondering, wait, what's happened? You're playing this game ages ago, why are you back on it? What happened to Hardline? What happened to Hardline was that I kind of, I don't really want to say opened my eyes, but I went through a bad patch with it. I just didn't play it, and I kind of started to realise, yeah, it's not as good as I thought. Most of the time what happens is you play a game for a bit, you'll get past the sort of honeymoon phase, and then suddenly move on to a point where you'll start to play the game more, but start to enjoy it less. So, even just stop playing it full out. And usually that happens, but this is a little bit different one. This one I've sort of, gone, looked at it and went, hang on, I don't like that. I have no urgency to play the game. I don't want to play the game. There's nothing that makes me want to play the game. And I've basically done everything I can in the game. And before I get too far, I want to say quickly, if you like Hardline, good for you, go ahead and play it. I'm not saying you shouldn't play it. This is just from my personal opinion, and what I think about the game. And honestly, chances are I'll go back to play it. I kind of think, though, if I do, I'll go back to play it for like, I don't know, a couple of times. I've only done 23 hours, I believe, so I've barely played any time at all. And if I do go back and play it, it won't be very much at all. I'll be playing maybe 6 hours throughout a week just to get to 30 hours so I can actually get my money's worth. Because to me, if it's a multiplayer game, you need to play as much time as you spent on the game, which for me was around about £30, so I'll be playing that. Obviously it's a little bit different for dollars because they're more. You can have your own perspective on the way you want to get your value for money, but that's the way I do it. But again, if you enjoyed this game, go ahead, good for you, continue playing it. This is just my opinion on why I personally don't like it. So the first problem is that I just feel the cops and criminals sort of setting just doesn't work for Hardline, in Battlefield in general. When I think of Battlefield, I think of big open maps, I think of sort of huge jets and tanks and helicopters and all that sort of thing. I think of back in Bad Company 2 when you had that map, I believe it was Heavy Metal, where you had the huge wind turbines which you go up and sit on the top of, and you could have fun all game. Me and my friends used to have so much fun just trying to land there, well, not even actually sitting there and using it as sort of a cheap spot. We just sit up there and just have fun and try and see if we can actually land a chopper on top of it, and that was just really good. And the Hardline just doesn't have anything like that, and like I said, the saying just doesn't really work. I have no problem with them trying it, but a sort of like a spin-off idea where they try something alternative. It'd be better if it was just a side spin-off game, instead of being something inside the franchise. They sort of taken the Battlefield name, said, hang on mate, this isn't going to be successful, give it the Battlefield name, people will buy it, and there you go, you're going to make money. And another problem is, because of the way you can buy guns, I just feel there's nothing to strive for. You're playing the game and you can just play Hotwire, get tons and tons of money, and eventually you earn enough to buy this weapon. You don't have to sit there using the bad ones, the ones you don't like, which is usually a bit of achievement. I've spent so much time using this awful gun, I now finally have this one, and I could finally start using this. There was nothing like that for me, and it's just annoying because that's really what I enjoy about most games. And because the way the community works now, where they'll be telling what guns are good and what guns are bad, you can just skip the ones that are bad. In every class there's one gun that's amazing, another one that's okay, and the others are just awful. And you can just buy those two and you're perfectly good. Of course you can go back and buy the other ones, but you're not going to use them. And it just feels like they haven't really thought too well about this purchasing system. Remember Black Ops 1 had a similar thing. We actually had to get to the level to buy the weapon, which is good. I personally like that. It gives you two things to strive for, getting the cash and actually being able to work and get the gun from the level as well. Now, I mentioned about how it just doesn't seem to be a Battlefield game. It's missing key stuff, destruction, tanks, helicopters. I mentioned some of that stuff before, and of course Levolution, which was awesome in Battlefield 4, but they didn't include any of it. And that's really weird. This is a huge thing about Battlefield 4. Nobody said anything bad about it. Some of it was a little bit odd, but nobody said anything bad about it. So why get rid of it? There's a few stuff, but barely anything. Now, it can also be super frustrating. So many times I've quit and just haven't played it after playing like 10 minutes. It can be very boring. The campaign is just awful. It's cliche, nothing special, bad characters, badly balanced. Some game modes are barely thought of. Blood money and heist can be easily exploited and just easily ruined by other people. It does feel like a bit of a reskin of Battlefield 4. There are some stuff that just is the same, and there's nothing really that changes it up. It could easily be an expansion. If they brought it out as an expansion of Battlefield 4 like Vietnam, I'm perfectly fine with that. Go ahead and do that. Make it 15 quid, you know, $15, whatever, and make it a full-on expansion for Battlefield 4. Honestly though, I'd say don't buy this game unless you're really strapped for, you know, a game to get. And already Battlefield 4 has more players in it, so go ahead and buy this game when it's cheaper. Until then, Boom Monsoon, out.